right, hey y'all, it's been a minute, but let's go ahead and catch up on this Stars PowerBook 2 episode and cover the topics and things for me is what's believable, what's incredulous, but what's unbelievable. The first thing, Sachs working with Method Man to pull off a collusion, a conspiring purpose to get Tariq locked up, but to get Tasha off. It's incredulous, however, it's believable. Okay, it is sadly more believable than I would even hate for somebody to get on here and go, oh, that would never happen in the law. That would never happen in the justice system. Oh, that never happens. They're lying to you. I don't care if it was Supreme Court Justice who says it to you. They are lying to you. And it's not about if it never happens. It's more of a concern of if it's something maybe they've never experienced. But we have case law on this. So look, it's in writing. It's occurred. People have discussed it. Folks have went to prison behind it. Folks have been sanctioned, lost licenses. So it occurs. The thing about it though is I think it's written well in how they address the situation and what the goal is, which is Method Man's main focus, get my client off. I don't care. Get my client off. But as he later proves in talking to the investigator, where she's like, wait, what? This is going to lead to a mistrial. First off, that's a very astute, very exposed investigator. Congratulations, whomever is coaching them on this or exposing them to a good investigator. Because a good investigator can make or break your case. It really can. And it's worth discussing that we need more of them more often or more hours or billables. At any rate, let's move on to clearly he's sleeping with her but doesn't trust her. So for whomever's out there sleeping with whatever man, if you needed to see anything tonight, see that in this episode, which is, girl, he may be knocking you down, but if he doesn't trust you to discuss this, license or not, do you really have a place in his life? Really? Because she knows him well enough to know he doesn't want a mistrial. He never wants a wish trial. He wants a win. And not just a win, it has to be a kill. Those are the kind of sharks that do exist. And not just in law, business on Wall Street, hedge fund managers, they exist. A great example of this also on TV is Billions with Bobby Axelrod. But going back to what's incredible, it's like, this is unbelievable at this point, and I don't like watching stuff that's unbelievable. I don't even like wasting my time processing information like, yeah, this isn't going to work. Sachs' little niece. Ain't no way. Ain't no way in West Hell. I don't care if he is considered Nancy. I don't care if he's the uncle who's just inept and we're really trying to highlight this. Anyone who knows, okay, I have to worry about my license. I have to worry about the regulation committee, the lawyers professional regulations board, somebody who can give me sanctions if not take my license. Look, maybe he has this white male privilege I'm not accustomed to. And people mock me for it, saying I behave as such. No. Maybe this is he's super rich, elitist, and he's so unexposed to the idea that you're just going to let your niece walk into the office, openly discuss breaking the law, openly discuss breaking policy, rules, regulations, rules we really have to abide by, and never close your door. Don't try and whisper it. And you have paper trails coming and going between the two of you because kids text. Now, that's the one thing that is very believable in this entire season. How even Monet, as a mother, has to text these kids. It's just, it's too much for me. But let's move on with Sachs and his niece. How she's decided she's so into Braden that she doesn't want to break up with him. My concern is, why is she so worked up about Tariq? You've done what you're supposed to based on what your uncle asked you for. So why are you still hanging around trying to get more details out of him? Watch the show, let me know. She tries to frame it that she'll prove Braden has nothing to do with whatever Tariq has going on. All this time hanging around, snooping, touching stuff, reading stuff. Look, Tariq is supposed to be more street than me or exposed. Maybe it's a bro code. Any guys who watch this review, please let us know. Jump in the comments. Is that the reason why he allowed her to just sit in that room? Look, I went to undergrad. You just didn't hang out in your man's room with his roommate for any reason. Well, also, I went to HBCU, and at the time, opposite sexes were not allowed into the rooms. We had to wait till you moved off campus into the apartments off campus or really on campus adjacent. So that's a whole nother story. Times changed before I left. Even my summer, we had co-ed setups. But that's not the point. The point I'm making is, dude, your welcome mat was been worn out. Get the hell on. Why is you still here? Whatever. I am glad Brayden was able to address the situation with his brother in a way that was meaningful. It matters, even to me. Like, look, yeah, my brother may have been beating me up when you walked in, but that's my brother. If anybody's going to do him something, it's going to be me. And I'm not going to sit here and let y'all do it. I do love how they show the personality of Brayden, who can ebb and flow and work whatever environment he's in. He really is a people's person who loves to just kick it. Whereas his brother is more elitist, excuse me, alienates people with it's not an honor or integrity, it's an arrogance, it's a spoiledness, it's a nastiness. So he's vicious in a different way because his money has allowed that. Whereas Brayden is open arms, let's embrace everybody, and you basically can see the line being drawn where one is welcome to diversity, the other one sees it as elitism, and we have these uh, invisible caste systems. Let's be real, because we do have a caste system in America. We just like to pretend we don't. So moving along, you've now got Sax has talked to his niece, told her to stay away. She refuses to. She tells him he has to come around, and she's going to be able to get Brayden's name clear. She's going to keep hanging around to get information on Tariq, even though Sax doesn't need it. They're going to trial because Sax and Method Man, as we saw before the mid-break, they're going to get Tariq railroaded to get Tasha off. And it's going to work this way. We rolled 2-Bit in this episode. 2-Bit's like, I'm not testifying for anybody. Sax leaves. Method Man comes in like, look, we're going to need you to testify, and here's why. He brings in, I don't know if y'all ever watch Alex Rogers, but Chunky Hill. So I usually call her Chunky Hill myself. And she talks through her teeth like this. So, lesbian former officer. And I don't even know why we're saying former. She's on leave. She's not fired. At any rate, 2-Bit is able to go, okay, you know what? Cool. If it ain't snitching, and I don't really have a real testimony to give, and she's going to tell me what to do, I'll take it. So, Sax works it out to get the Fed and the state charges dropped. So, 2-Bit can walk out like Method Man offered. As soon as you testify, you'll be a free man and could be slanging later that afternoon. Boy, if that ain't some bold, direct conversation if I've ever. I thought I was green, and I really do give too much information. At any rate, but not like Brayden when Kane comes in looking for Tariq. I was baffled and confused. You're fighting with your brother. He's already pulled a gun. You just want to calm the situation? Yo, bro, come back in maybe an hour. Swing back by later. He's already proven he knows Kane. And I wasn't mad at Kane for being like, how you know my name? Why you got my name in your mouth? Number two, we're in the same business. We do, what? No, you know what? You didn't have to offer all that. So now Kane knows how this is running as, I guess, a multi-tier pyramid setup and doesn't like it. Rightly so. Like, yo, I'm thinking I'm only dealing with Tariq. I didn't realize Tariq had and some Caucasians and everybody's in this. Kane kidnaps them, take them into Queens, have them selling on the corner like little boys, 2 separate corners. Brayden works the crowd, figures it out. His brother is drowning, basically by himself on the corner. Brayden has sold everything, made all the money. He gets back in the car. I'm laughing at this now that, okay, I get it. Kane did it to prove a point and to scare them. But I didn't get the concept, and this is that part about not being believable. You put some of the most whitest white boys, the ultimate Caucasians, on the corner. Like, yeah, Brayden may be able to play it off a little bit because he has that big overcoat, the puffy coat for the winter. But his brother looks like, and think about it, wow. His brother like he was ready for a J. Crew photo shoot and getting on a boat. And Brayden looked like he was ready for winter to get started. So I don't know what that was about. But at the end of the day, either Puerto Ricans or Dominicans rolled up on his brother and starts to beat him up. He couldn't get out until Kane gave him permission to get out to go and save him. And he did. But cut to, they're back in the car. Monet's side piece pulls him over to talk to Kane and tells the boys go stay at his car. He ultimately drives the boys back to the college to drop them off. And that's when he's letting everybody know all of this is forgotten. No one's getting charges pressed, and we're gonna all stay quiet about it. Braden's game for his brother's like, no, we were kidnapped. We have to report this. So at least tell mom and dad. I'm just like, dude, are you kidding me? But I get it. You got money. You're not accustomed to being roughhoused, and you're accustomed to making the calls that leads to the shots that gets people fired, gets things changed according to how you want it to be done. At any rate, Braden handles it all. Comes in. His girlfriend is excited to see him. Calls him on BS for the story, but who cares? I'm happy to see you, so all's forgiven. Gives him 2 minutes to talk to Tariq. He lets Tariq know Kane took him. It's been a crazy night. Tariq is now receiving a knock on the door because Diana's there to talk to him. She's found out when and related to her brother, who's now sneaking around with Everett. I genuinely wish, and this is what the unbelievable part was. Monet has the kids, number 2 and number 3. Middle child, baby girl. Come and count the money and break up the drugs. Package it differently. Here's the point. She then goes, okay, give me your phones. She takes the phones and put them literally 3 feet away on a shelf and walks off. Y'all, I have no understanding of this. Hey, I guess they were trying to look for a way to keep the phones involved in this story today. I don't know, but I was just like, all of this is unbelievable. I like Mary J. Blige as an actress, even on Mudbound. Oh my word, she's really good. Is it me? Speak up, let me know. I just don't see the good acting taking place here. It seems really forced, or it seems like she's acting to the room. And that's a theater term, and I don't know if you can use it for TV, but it's like it's a lot. You're over the top, you're louder, the emotions, it's just not genuine as you would believe it to be for someone who should be from Queens, should have that accent, has a Latino at home. Oh my word, the unbelievable part. Kane goes to prison to see his daddy. His Spanish sounds worse than mine. And I know I sound gringo-ish nowadays. I mean, I haven't lived in the DR for years. I don't consistently speak Spanish when I need to. It comes up. It's super broken, which is better now. It's less formal, more street. Actually, it's more Spanglish, period. And I'm okay with that. I need that. That's authentic. But the sound, even I sound like a gringo. And I'm like, now I learn after the show, Courtney Kemp does, her spiel on what it is. And the doctor they kept for the jury selection, which shocked the judge and me, but I think they played that really well. Again, whomever their consult is for the legal part, it just works. They know what they're doing and they'll know what they're talking about. But he's supposed to be the dialect coach for everybody, for the Spanish speakers. And like, since day one, oh my. Yeah. I was like, maybe they don't give him much to work with. But I remember when even Jamie wasn't always, his sound, it was like, whoa, what is that sound coming from? At least address that. Because in my mind, and y'all can say otherwise, but when you're in a predominant area where you have access to hear the sound more often, may it be you living in Spanish Harlem, may you in the Bronx, however you could be on the West Coast in LA or Texas, and you got that real, like at home, I'm going to pick up that Chicano sound more, but I came away from learning Spanish in the DR, and on top of school. I went to college there. I worked there. So it's gonna be fast in a whole nother way. Some words are not, like, for Chicanos, it's frijoles. For the DR, it's habichuelas. So it's like a matter of trying to mesh those things. And then when you see it and you have to process it, it's like, yeah, I sound like a real gringo. I hear the diphthong isn't going fast enough. So anyway, the long and short of it is, y'all tell me. For now, I'm not feeling this season. I hope it really builds up. Maybe it's an age gap thing, and that's why, they have Tasha and Method Man there to hold us middle. I'm officially middle age. I think this should work for the college kids and the high schoolers, the kids I know in my life, because it's pretty accurate how school works, how everybody comes in talking loud and calling folks out, the discussion, the dialogue to try and keep things moving. How they always get into some stuff. They don't ever listen. That niece would have got popped. You hear me? My niece could have tried that with me. I would have called one of the federal marshals to go lock her up for the night. Once she got locked up for the night, you only talk to me. And you only do what I say, which is basically the struggle, the power struggle Monet was having with her kids. Oh, I like this part. Her kids don't call her mommy, it's Monet or Mo. And I grew up like that. My mother would get questioned by people and they would be like, well, don't you think they won't, that's disrespectful, that's out of line? My mother answered that real smooth. And my mother was much older than some Mary J. Blige. Now, Mary J. Blige, as she portrays Monet. My mother was a sharecropper. They know who I am. The end. When I tell you my mother doesn't talk a lot and her face sells it, her body sells it. I wish I could hear it, that energy, that air, because I think I welcome people towards me in a way that they never tried with her. Y'all may call it resting bitch face now, but as I was growing up and as I know it, because no one ever referred to my mother as such, it was just understood. You don't play with older Southern black women. The end. That's just it. They there to handle business. And ain't no emotions in this. But my daddy was another story. We was going to call him daddy under all conditions. Anyway, I like that. That's something I can relate to. That's how I grew up. That's how I'm now growing up a next generation. I'm not just Joyce. I have a title, but it was one not chosen by me. The kids made it, and that's what it is. And I'm okay with that. And the kids have shown if someone screams mommy or something like that, I never turn. I don't even know who's turning and why. So I'm sure Monet feels that same way. But anyway, let's get back to the show. And I'll wrap it up with this. When Monet had the incident of the little physical violence at home, I'm glad Dee and Middle Child got involved to be like, yo, you're going too far, Kane. And so, of course, he wanted to push up on Diana because he's trying to be the man of the house. The police officers, that Monet's side piece has pointed it out. You're not the man. And of course, he's sitting there with Mo. He tells the boy, you ain't the man. We all work for your father, which is true. But it strikes his pride. And he feels like, well, I need to be in charge. Like they all do. Start smelling themselves. Child, what you want me to say? It is what it is. But let's move on to Monet is now at the dining table with her side piece. And he's trying to explain, look, you need some male energy to handle him. I can't handle my son. No, you need a man to handle this. And it ain't going to be you. You ain't his father. I can appreciate that conversation. Next thing you know, Kane went upstate or across the way to see his daddy in lockup. He talks to him. We hear the accent in Spanish, actually Spanglish. They did good. You got to go back and forth. I don't know anybody who says everything in Spanish unless they never learn. Even if they only know like 7 words in English, them 7 words are going to come up even when they're speaking Spanish, especially if it's like my doña looking for shoes. She never learned any English, but she knew when it was a sale, what kind of sandal or shoe. Getting off track, but the point is that part is very credible, very relatable for me. It's a dress. Kane goes face to face with Diana, and he gets like not exactly a hit or a punch, but there was contact made. So Monet comes over to be like, "Hey, you can't do," and then he jerks back and he knocks Monet to the floor. Now you could tell the shock and the hurt was in his face. He emoted very well as an actor, and turned and put his hand out like, "Come on, mama." He says some words I forgot. It was only 2. She didn't take his hand. She smacked that away and like I got up myself. He storms off, and then we get to see him go to the prison and talk to his daddy, and he lets her know she ain't handling business. But ultimately, daddy's like, "Look." Yeah, that is the kind of guy I've been in my world. They're not like the mothers. They're like, yo, so you swinging on Monet is like swinging on me. You swinging on me now? I appreciate that. And I do feel like sometimes, ladies, we can back down. Let me handle them boys. Those bear cubs is a beast. So, or lion cubs, whatever you want to call them. Let their daddy come in and manage that real fast, because ultimately, he tells him, not only is you not hitting on me, but he shuts it down with she's in charge. That's it. She's handling all things for me. I don't care if you are second guessing this. The boy goes to leave. Kane gets locked in with all the guards who are working for his father, and they pummel him to the fact that blood is in his mouth. Now, I don't like that. And I would have easily been like, hold on, baby, you done went too far. But of course, husband/daddy comes in and be like, and don't you ever put your hands on my wife again. Now that part I can again relate to and appreciate, But this is where I'm just like, come on, Monet. Oh, maybe the kids must have said something, because it's like you gotta think this through. And I just said, look, ladies, let the men handle these boys and bear cubs. But at the same time, he ain't even my child. And I'm still like, oh, I gotta protect you a little bit because I know your daddy will wild out on you. But sometimes you gotta show these kids, like, I'm not this church person you think I am, or some simp that's sitting around here bored and ain't got nothing else to do except go to work and cater to you. You got to get with them. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to like it. But look, my parent had to get with me. I will tell anybody I said some slick stuff. I woke up in my own bed the next day. Yeah, the next day. I don't remember. It took a little while and a few siblings and friends to help me see she knocked you out. But that's that. Whatever. But my daddy, that's never gonna be the thing. I'm a daddy's girl. So anyway, but do believe he worked on those boys in a whole nother way. And my father did not believe you should hit your children. I should be able to talk to my kids. You're intelligent. Blah 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 blah. Well, Kane Daddy understands who his child is, and guess what? He showed him without ever putting his hands on it. But sometimes I had to think about even that, because you're gonna hire other people to hit you. Okay, that's like some vestiges of slavery. But we'll talk about it another time, I guess. With that being said, I'm still trying to hold out with PowerBook 2 and make it work. But yeah, Tyreek, his app situation impresses Monet. She does get it. She is fine with it continuing. Diana told her mama with the hope that she shut Tariq down. And look, Tariq can't convince Diana he's not with some other girl, but she's under the impression he doesn't like her and wants no parts of it. Yo, I don't know why he just didn't say, it's my roommate's girlfriend in here and I got to keep an eye on her because she always on some stuff. That's it. Y'all in the same business, but for whatever reason that couldn't get handled. Hopefully though, Everett gets kicked to the curb. Not that they can't be a cute couple. Not that you can't be young and dumb and make mistakes, middle boy. I can't remember his name right now. D. I feel like it's Devin. But anyway, the point is, he's not out the closet. So why put yourself through that torturous situation? And let him be by himself. Go find somebody else. So y'all have a good one. This was the PowerBook recap. Let's see how it